What's up, world? It's your boy Denver's Dojamain, and right now you are tuned in to the #1 college radio show in the Mile High City. Yeah, it's Head-Klap Radio. Hey, look, tonight we got a dope show on the mound. We got Mr. Midas. He been putting in work in the town for a very long time, so if you don't know the name, tonight you will. And I got my hip-hop insider as usual, Inevitable Will. But look, this the Nipsey Hussle tribute show, R.I.P. Nipsey. We're going to talk about all that. Before we do, we're going to get into this first video. This is Shake by Midas. Let's get it.
Show me some, you know.
All that ass and she say she getting more. Back it up, that shit be eating up the pole. I'm a fan, I pay the fine, I pay the toll. Brought a couple with me, I'm just trying to see the show. What time you want? She said you know when all the dollars fly. Said she gon' get the job done, she overqualified. And then she poppin' like a 45. That shit be clapping, all them taxes like they come to life. She nuttin' night. Champagne on my third bottle, blue dreamin' that diesel mix. Now and then I might pour a 4. Streets mine, I just need a hit. Bad bitches need to work music. If you shake something, let the broom sweep. And after work, we need all of y'all at the after party Airbnb.
Money falling from the ceiling like a paid for sin. Bust it open, baby, if you want the whole thing. Heard you was a freak, you gon' have to show me. Walking like a dog, girl, don't keep it low key. Shake some, we gon' throw on. Hey, shake some. Girl, you know we love it. Hey, when you shake some, we gon' throw on. Yeah, when you shake some. Girl, you know we love it. Wanna say some? Shake some. Hey, you gon' make some. If you shake some, yeah, you gon' make some. If you shake some, hey, we gon' throw on. Yeah, if you shake some, baby, shake some.
Cash money gun, I shoot my shot. Probably a nigga with me from the block. When you throw it in a circle, make it drop. Make it feel like Chef Curry with the rock. I can't even move, you got me paralyzed now. Dripping so wet, I don't care if I drown. I'm in love with a stripper, I don't care how that sound. Can you do it with a dick in that pretty round? Champagne on my 4th bottle. Whole team, man, we all LeBron. Dollar pill, push the baller button. I told him not yet, he said to me we on. Streets mine, I just need a hit. Bad bitches need to work music. Twerk, do it. Say use a freak, I need you to prove.
Money falling from the ceiling like a paid for sin. Bust it open, baby, if you want the whole thing. Heard you was a freak, you gon' have to show me. Walking like a dog, girl, don't keep it low key. Shake some, we gon' throw on. Hey, shake some. Girl, you know we love it. Hey, when you shake some, we gon' throw on. Yeah, when you shake some. Girl, you know we love it. Wanna say some? Shake some. Hey, you gon' make some. If you shake some, yeah, you gon' make some. If you shake some, hey, we gon' throw on. Yeah, if you shake some,
I'd rather invest in some real estate, you know what I'm saying? Something
Wait, can you repeat that again, man? You're up and coming artist. What did you say you want to do?
I say invest in some assets as opposed to trick off my money on some liabilities like diamonds.
Even before fame, this aspiring star had a plan for his fortune.
You're trying to get land.
Exactly, homie. A real asset. Take care of my peoples because, you know, it look good, but at the end of the day, you losing value.
He was just 20 years old in this interview with Hard Knock TV. Over the next decade, he'd become a beacon of hope in South Central LA, a Grammy-nominated artist, a father, an entrepreneur, an advocate. His name, Nipsey Hussle. But just as his dreams were really coming true, this past Sunday, he was shot dead in broad daylight in the middle of the community that he'd poured his heart and soul into.
He was the neighborhood prince. He brought a lot of hope and change to the community.
You might as well call him the president of the hood then, Barack Obama of the streets.
It was so much more he could have did. He was only 33 years old.
He seemed to walk a fine line between the hood and a hope for a new world, rising out of poverty and violence, making it big, as documented in this Midas Touch video.
Nip did more than his own thing.
You know, this is the Nipsey tribute show. We got Midas in the building, man. real special individual. So Midas, man, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, bro.
My name is Midas, originally from Long Beach, California. I've been staying in Denver for a while now, so I'm able to rep them both the same. You know me, man. I'm just about helping these kids, bro. This rap, it's been a tough week, man. It's hard for me to even really only because I knew where homie came from. I knew I kind of what he stand for and what he was trying to change. So it's kind of hard because I work with so many kids and things like that, man. Like he was kind of who I talked about most as far as the turnaround, making the transition. You know what I'm saying? So when you take that kind of figure away, it's just difficult time for me right now. So I'm trying to put it together.
Absolutely, bro. And I didn't know you were from California, so that makes this show even that much more special because we got a California native in the building. And,
absolutely.
I got your picture with Nipsey posted. So talk about that picture, man. Go into details about that picture you had with him. What year was that and all that?
Don't give me the line. 2010, 2011. So both times Nipsey had came out to Colorado. I opened up for him both times. So we were at the meet and greet at that time. And that's just seeing bro's growth, man. Like he's what you attain to be from an independent level.
Absolutely, man. If you ask me, he really set the bar with this independent hustle, man. Like that man, he showed you that, you can really come from nothing and turn it into something. He came from the bottom, out down there, South Central LA, and it's unfortunate that that's where he met his demise. And I've been struggling with it all week, man. So what's it like growing up in California for those of us who don't know?
It's you from somewhere. Nobody's from nowhere. Everybody's from somewhere because you're from somewhere.
What does it mean to be from somewhere for those of us who don't quite understand gang culture?
Every street in LA almost from Wilshire from Wilshire on down, you know what I'm saying, has a block to it that is in somebody's jurisdiction. And so during that time, it's like when you hear Kendrick say on that skit sometime, where you from? Nowhere. Where your mama stay? Like that's the kind of shit we grew up doing. You know what I'm saying? You from somewhere.
So what is the purpose of why? Because I know even Nipsey got a song like that's question number one, where they call you where you from. So is it a territorial thing or is it
absolutely, man?
It seemed to me it almost feels like when I hear that it feels like it's a trap.
See,
like if you tell a person where you from and they tell you the wrong thing, you got a license to beat their ass. You know what I'm saying? So
it's a tricky situation, man, and it's something that for us, we had to really be kind of quick on our feet with how you moving. You watch what you wear. You watch every hat. Like even this hat I got on right now means something. I wouldn't wear this back home necessarily. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because it means something. But I just like hats. So, but back home, every hat is somebody's hood. So when you name something, if y'all name a team, I can tell you who wears that hat from the Broncos on. So in LA, I'll give you an example. Hoovers wear Broncos stuff.
Right.
They wear orange and blue. That's their colors, orange and blue. So when you see them, especially with that Elway 7, that's what the 7-4 Hoovers used to wear a lot.
Really?
So somebody that wouldn't know that coming from Denver wearing that 7 in LA, that's definitely a problem.
Right. So, because I heard it's real finicky with like the sports clothing. You can't just think you about to just go cop you a jersey in LA and think you're just about to do it. They been kind of locked down. So okay, so. What did Nipsey Hussle necessarily mean to that community? Well, coming from that circumstance and trying to trailblaze, what would you say?
A lot of times we got homies that'll make it and never come back, or they'll make it and tell you where they from, but you know what I'm saying, they're not necessarily giving back to the hoods that they took from. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like for bro to come and really establish residency in the same place that he hustled from, because that was important to him to kind of get that back tenfold. Like I took enough. You know what I'm saying? So now what do I give back and I help my people? And he figured what the long-term goal was to buy up property.
Uplift his people, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then give people jobs at those same businesses, those same establishments that he kept creating. Man, he bought. People don't even know what bro had going on, man. He just bought a 40 a 40-room apartment building that he was going to make 100 units.
Wow.
Like I don't know if everybody understand what kind of real estate that is in LA. LA is big money all the time, so there's no, you know what I'm saying? Like that, those are $1 million. He bought a Fat Burger, man. He had a Fat Burger open.
Oh yeah,
and like,
he did.
bro is excuse me, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, from a hood. Can I cuss here? I almost said the N-word. So
the N-word can empower people, man. If if those of you who got something against us saying it, you know, Nipsey Hussle said the N-word a lot.
Yes, he did.
But that don't mean he was meaning it in a derogatory way.
Right, and that's why I didn't want to take away from what I was saying either or the show by saying that, because I can do it both ways. You feel me? I'm one of them dudes.
Respect.
So he reminds me of myself, or what I attain, or what I think of myself as being. Somebody that came from the hood, you know what I'm saying, that went on to try to do great things and show everybody that's how he did it. He did it on a different level than I did it, obviously, you know what I'm saying? I never banged.
Never banged?
I never banged.
Coming from Cali, how is that possible?
Banged, man, because we moved all the time. I didn't have a lot of money coming up. I went to 17 schools coming up.
Wow.
So like my mom moved us a lot from LA to a Detroit, Michigan, back to LA, from Compton to Long Beach to these different places, and you know, as much as I hood hopped, to be honest with you, the way I was doing it, like that's not the point. You can't hood hop in LA. You can't be from all these different hoods. I'm from Long Beach, but we moved a lot. You feel me? So it never was anywhere long enough to be able to. And then I got wind of it. A lot of my homies was banging. It didn't seem the same to me. I'm different, dude. I always was. You feel me?
So do you feel like there needs to be some drastic changes from top to bottom with just the whole entire state of the culture?
Hell yeah, man. But that's what bro was doing. Like that's the part that I'm watching all this stuff going on in LA right now, because Nip was trying to unify the gangs. So he was signing different artists that never got along with 60s ever. So he was bringing these rival gangs and putting them on his label, blood gangs, just different Crip gangs, different shit that bro was doing, meeting with different people, getting it together. Even now, like this might have been the transition, man, because we've been trying to get this a long time where it is a peaceful thing. And this might have been the thing to do it, because I see how they working right now to make sure that we can put these guns down and get to some sort of economic empowerment. You feel me? Like we've been like that's all like that's what LA is. LA is gangbanging, but it's only how far has that gotten us for so long. So I think that's if nothing else, that's what bro taught everybody, man. Like what's next, man? You feel me?
Right.
So.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Hey, it's your boy Denver's Dojamain. I'm in the building right now with Midas, you know what I'm saying? Straight out of Long Beach, California, all the way to the Mile High City. Hey, look, man, we all touched right now, you know what I'm saying? Our heart goes out to Nipsey Hussle. You know me, y'all. I want to do a little roll call just to make sure everybody that's watching is accounting for it. What's up, Angela Griffith? What's up, PG? What's up, Flawless? What's going on, Jeremy Riley, Elijah Robb, Siobhan Henry? What's going on, y'all? Hey, welcome to Head-Klap Radio. Thank y'all for tuning in. Talk about Never Been, my man.
Actually, that's Scorp Diesel on the beat, man. So if y'all don't know what's going on with Scorp is from Colorado Springs. And he's actually produced. He doesn't stay here anymore. But
he in Cali, ain't he?
Absolutely,
he in Cali,
moving, man. So bro's produced for
that man got a car collection.
For Ray, what's my dude name? Sway Lee. Just I can keep naming artists, but Scorp do his thing, man. So this is one of the beats that we worked together. This is the last time we was able to work together, and it became Never Been. So I shot this in Miami. That's like my second home, and with some of my real guys. So that dude that happened to be in there, that's Vito, man. Vito No Shake, man. When y'all see like Love and Hip Hop, when y'all watch Love and Hip Hop Miami, and they in all them dunks and stuff like that, y'all know what dunks is, right? Them big cars with them. I'm sorry, no disrespect.
It's slang.
But that's sometimes they don't know that.
We might not know. We might not know.
Define it.
Those is
28s, 30s, Chevys.
Those are his cars.
Oh, for sure.
So my homie that's in this with the dreads to the floor, that's my nigga Vito, though.
Yeah, my people stay in the South, you know what I'm saying? What's up, Joy Dobson? I see you, baby. All right, but without further ado, man, here it is. This is Midas with Never Been.
Never been there. Heard me talking about how I just went last week. Her nigga never take her anywhere. I'll be flying out tomorrow, don't work, you don't eat. She ain't never been this high. By the way that she coughing, I can tell she can't breathe. She ain't never seen this side. She ain't never going home, she ain't never gonna leave. I was sorting through the missed calls. Thought I knew that number was a 6-off. Then I get a text, check your message. I told her never check them, better text it. Say she wanna know, wanna find out. When I have a minute, take some time out. Little conversation, blow her mind out. She say I remind her of what life about. We going up, we ain't coming down. And she is quite the freak when he is not around. Cage bird free, spread your wings and drown. First she crashed a plane and ride around the town. He never complimented, call her beautiful. She cried a lot of nights, that was the usual. I told her to join the team and held my back court. You just need a nigga, have your back more. She ain't never been there. Heard me talking about how I just went last week. Her nigga never take her anywhere. I'll be flying out tomorrow, don't work, you don't eat. She ain't never been this high. By the way that she coughing, I can tell she can't breathe. She ain't never seen this side. She ain't never going home, she ain't never gonna leave. She ain't never been there. Da 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 da. She ain't never been this high. Da 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 da. She ain't never been this far. Da 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 da. She ain't never seen this side. Da 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 da. Say she wanna come and ride shotgun. She do anything to be my top one. When I'm on the road, she wanna FaceTime. Fuck it, bust it open, what it tastes like. He don't hit it right, he like to waste time. She be saying that she came, but she stay lying. Staring at the ceiling in the daydream. Tell her when it's over, cause she go to sleep. We going out, we ain't coming down. Vegas trip, then in Miami, she can doodle brown. Laker games, red carpet, she can wear her gown. I just like to show you off, cause you deserve a crown. She loosen up when I turn left. He keep calling her phone, he ain't learned yet. Memphis 10 said she never been. I told her fucking bring a friend, I can go again. She ain't never been there. Heard me talking about how I just went last week. Her nigga never take her anywhere. I'll be flying out tomorrow, don't work, you don't eat. She ain't never been this high. By the way that she coughing, I can tell she can't breathe. She ain't never seen this side. She ain't never going home, she ain't never gonna leave. She ain't never been there. Da 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 da. She ain't never been this high. Da 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 da. She ain't never been this far. Da 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 da. She ain't never seen this side. Da 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 da. 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 Da 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 da.
They got it under a microscope. They damn near study everything a nigga do, from a nigga walk to a nigga talk to the type of music we do. And I ain't talking about black and white. I'm just talking about, you know, street and non-street, like, you know, gutter and suburb. You know what I mean? Like, just have not and have. You feel what I'm saying? So it ain't. I'm not just on black and white. You know what I mean? But it's a lot of that too. But like you said, it's just like everything else. Africa was full of natural resources. What they do? All the diamonds, they came and got it. All the gold, they came and got it. All the niggas, they came and got us. You know what I mean? It's the continent is raped of all its resources. So, you know what I mean? I guess the word they call it is colonialism, when they come and colonize your land and take the resources.
That nigga just thought you was a regular gangbanger.
Yeah, you know, like I
using
said,
words like that.
Yeah, you know, we said it earlier. Like I educated myself. At one point I was ignorant and lost, but
it was basically to first of all commemorate his death, and second of all, they were trying to gather gangs from several different cities to come together and basically discuss a ceasefire, which means that these gangs were trying to end all the violence between them, just kind of for like a greater good. And when Nipsey was alive, he was already trying to do this, but unfortunately his time was cut short. But just like I always like to say, the seed is planted, so once you leave your mark, you know, everyone has to, you know, follow suit. You know, it'd be doing dirt on his name if they didn't, you know. So the gangs are coming from the Watts, Compton, LA, and Inglewood. They all met up, and they're scheduling a march, and they were scheduling it as early as last Thursday. So, yeah, they're going to be planning that and doing that pretty soon. And they're trying to come up with like a peace treaty too. And yeah, I just think that this is really what that town needs, especially when a person like Big U, someone is being the community leader for this kind of thing. So it's cool to see people taking the roles and kind of putting themselves in Nipsey's shoes and kind of continuing that legacy that he left behind.
Absolutely, man. That's what it's all about, you know what I mean? Because, like, it's one thing that we lost a good brother, but it's another thing, like, where do we go from here? You know what I'm saying? And that's what's most important. So, Midas, man, I hear that you work with the youth, man. Talk about it.
I do, man. I mean, from middle school and high school primarily, I think we're always mentoring anyway, right? Because the kids is watching you, whether it's a good mentor or a bad mentor, because there's both. The kids is watching you either way. But I had this program that I'm starting up called Red, R-E-D, Reaching Every Dream, a 2nd through 5th grade mentoring program for young boys. And we teach them how to read primarily, because by the time they get to middle school, a lot of them that don't have those skills seem to fall really, really, really behind, man. So what I want to do is teach them how to read, but also expose them to things that we aren't used to seeing: black chefs, black pilots, women business leaders, just different things that are like. I just believe in exposure. When you expose kids to stuff that they didn't know that they could do before, like those possibilities are endless, man. You know what I'm saying? So
that's amazing.
I think that's where we start, man. I'm gonna do my little part, and to me, you never know, like Pac said, who that's supposed to inspire. So if I get 1 or 2 and they go in to get 4 or 5, and then you never know. That's how it starts, man. So
right.
Sorry, yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Shoot, I'm all about it, man. I feel like right now, a lot of people are questioning just their situation. They're train of thought. You know, I was a little distraught, just because I thought, a good man got taken out for no reason. And, it's like that ain't how karma was supposed to work. I thought, when you put out good energy, you're supposed to get good energy back. But I guess it kind of makes people have like those conspiracies and think that this is something a little bit more political than it was simply just some gangbang stuff. And I'm a little torn, man. What about you? Are you feeding into the whole conspiracy that maybe like the government took him out, or do you think this was just unfortunately another gangbang situation?
I know. I won't say it's another gangbang situation. Just
some people would like
to make it so. Just to make it like it was just some gangster shit that was going on. That's the part I don't like speculating about, though, bro. I think that's what's wrong too, and everybody's kind of giving their opinions on different stuff, and that's the part to me. Do I think it was some ill will? Do I think dude was very jealous to be able to even pull that off? To be able to shoot somebody? You know what I'm saying? Just to be able to shoot somebody, bro. Like, what kind of malice do you have, like, in your heart? Because that takes something different to be able to pull that off. So that's all. I just want to know, like what would possess you that this was the best way to handle that, though. By killing this man was gonna make the situation better, and that's the part to me. I think that's the part that got everybody like, hold up, man. Like, not like this the dude that's pushing us to do it the right way.
Right.
So if he can get killed doing it the right way, I might as well keep doing it the wrong way. And that's what I'm worried about people's mindset.
Right.
I'm like hoping they was listening. Yeah. I'm hoping they was listening to the message and just not just hearing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
I tend to feel like those are distractions. And I think that right now black people, we got to take accountability, man. Like, the music, although it is an expression of, our upbringings and things of that nature, it does, however, have an element of sensationalization when it comes to the gangster life and the drug world.
Yeah.
And then this happens and we our heart cries out. But it's like, why weren't we should have been feeling like this long ago. Like, we got to nip this in the bud right now. I think, do we need to boycott gangster music? Do we need to sit back and say, you know what, maybe this message in this music is just not the one to keep pushing? I don't know, man. What's your take on it?
I mean, that's a good point, bro. But I mean, it all plays into, if you say that about gangster music, then I want you to say that about horror films. I want you to say that about action movies. I want you to say that about just different messages our kids is exposed to anyway. You feel me? So I want to, but I'm in that same breath, I'm listening to some of the shit that my son is listening to, and I'm worried. What the hell are you listening to, dude? Like, what is you repeating? Some shit he gave me a bar today about something about robbing, and he said it so easy. And I was like, do you know what you're talking about, little homie? Like, what is you listening to? And that's the thing, a lot of times, like, these dudes are saying anything, man. You feel me? And that's what's so dope about Nip, too.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, you speaking that gospel right now, and it's coming out with you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't just do dumb shit. Nip wasn't that OG. Just do dumb shit, kids. And some of these dudes don't realize their impact. They think it's cool, and they'll tell you that they're not doing it either. Oh, I don't really do this shit. That's just like, damn, okay, well, somebody else kid doing it, though. You kind of paying for it and profiting it off of. It's a fine line because it's your art, and you can't really tell somebody what to rap about or what to, you know what I'm saying, because you never know. But, I mean, we need to be more responsible about our message, though.
We got to be, because we can argue and say, you know, we're entertainers and action movies are the same thing, but see, where I draw the line with that is that action movies portray fictional stories, that they openly tell you this is a fictional action movie, you know, whereas music, these are reality raps.
How do they tell you that these are fake, that these are...
You know that, like, James Bond ain't real. You know that, like...
We know that. Do my kids know that?
Well, you know what I mean, like, on TV, period.
I get
movies. Can we compare reality rap to movie entertainment? I don't know, because this stuff that we rapping about is really happening, whereas the movies kind of, you know, sell you like this story of it started out bad, it got good, and then it's a happy ending at the end. But this music is telling you more of the poetic, the Menace to Society story. The music is telling you like the real gutter parts of it. And in a lot of time, it's in braggadocious form, you know.
But good point. I don't know, bro. Good point. Good point. That's a
lot of times
point,
it's in
man.
braggadocious form, and it makes our youth feel like, okay, to be cool, I gotta be a blood, I gotta wear red,
or to have enough pride, or to be recognized.
I gotta be hard. I gotta be hard, and it's like,
yeah, we have to be, because what's the other? You gotta remember, man. Most kids anyway, right, are who they are until they get around other people, and then they are who they need to be.
Influenced, yeah.
Because you in order to get the people from kind of messing with you and doing stuff to you or harming you, you have to move a certain way, even if it's not who you want to be. A lot of us have those masks, man, and that's the thing that we deal with as black men anyway, because we do the most code switching out of anybody. You feel what I'm saying? And I don't know if everybody is aware what code switching is, but code switching is when you have one language or one way of doing things with one sort of people and another way of doing things with another sort of people.
Right. Like like a chameleon.
But it's like you talk a certain way with the homies, you one way, and then when you go to work, you have to kind of switch it up and be a whole nother person. And this is how I conduct myself. But that's what we do well, because we have to be those type of people. But that's the same on the streets as it is too. You feel me? You have to move a certain way. My mom told me, my dad told me, they were street cats. They told me that you had to move a certain way. You dig what I'm saying? People have to respect you in a certain way, though. Nipsey didn't get like this by not being respected. He put work in to get like this. Don't get it twisted. This couldn't have been no regular dude. This dude was that dude. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah.
And that's the difference. Like, he had to have respect on another level. The same with Pac, man. We don't respect anybody. You got to think about them dudes that was able to be who they was. They was gangsters. Malcolm X was a gangster. First and foremost, before he got to be who he was, you know what I'm saying? And messages was being pushed in a different kind of way.
So there are some who feel like, and I'm one of them, I'm not going to lie, you know, you look at Malcolm X, Huey P. Newton, Tupac, Martin Luther King, you know, these guys made exceptional effort to push a message to a wide, you know, to the masses about things that were being done to the black man, or just to the, you know, the disenfranchised, should I say, because it ain't always black. We got brown. We even got white people that are coming from these same straits. I know white gang members right to this day. So I feel like every time somebody and obviously like the Martin Luther King and Malcolm X don't necessarily apply in that context, but the point I'm trying to make is that every time somebody comes out and forth and steps up and starts speaking knowledge and wisdom and, you know, into the black community, into the disenfranchised gang community, into the drug community, into the ghettos of America, they get taken out. And then for the next 10 years, we try to rebuild it. And it just seemed like it's just happening so much times where it just makes you really wonder, like, And I heard Bosco talk about, you know who I'm talking about,
Absolutely.
Bosco. I heard Bosco say it last night. He said, like, I'm scared to be an exceptional person. I'm scared to go out here and be like a supernatural leader because I might not my message might not make it. I mean, it even happened with Jesus. He died at 33.
That's the thing.
They said, and good point. So what I heard was this. They said it too. They said, man, would you still be, speaking of Nipsey, they said, would you still go out of your way to help people knowing that they would kill you in the end? And they was like, well, wow. They said, well, Jesus did it. And so, of course, I'm not comparing Nipsey Hussle to Jesus.
Why not?
Maybe I am.
I mean, not that he is Jesus, but their lives are similar in what they were trying to do, kind of like the result of they died around the same age too.
Absolutely, at the same age.
Yeah,
at the same age. So it wasn't. But so he was able to do. Like when you start putting this plan into motion, a lot of us have the ideas, man, but nobody was moving. Like even Pac had so many ideas and how he wanted to do it. Even, you know, so his was cut short at 25. Nip was able to make it a lot longer than the rest of him, though. But he was able to give the blueprint even with his own people. So he didn't leave it and go make it how you make it, though. Pac didn't leave the blueprint of how he wanted to do it. He had it in his head how he wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying? Nip left the blueprint. Boom, 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 boom. That's how you do
and
it.
also, I would like to, believe that Pac kind of was like conflicted with 90s gangbanging.
Oh, absolutely.
We're talking about 90s gangbanging when it was just a whole different world, and he had a lot of people around him that were like bad influences, and then, he kind of just was caught up in a war that Nipsey Hussle didn't have on his plate. Honestly, I feel like Pac made it possible for Nipsey Hussle to bring the Bloods and the Crips together because they seen how bad it could get when two positive black men like Big and Tupac with so much bright potential can just be taken off and just destroyed. And so I feel like, I'm 30, bro, so I feel like I kind of am in this generation with Nipsey as a peer to where we looked at it as like, let's not make that mistake again.
I think it hit LA so hard with that specific message because, see, Pac wasn't from LA, though.
Right.
You feel me? Like, Pac didn't grow up in LA.
Right.
Like, we grew up in L.A. Pac wasn't from no hood.
He didn't understand L.A. like that.
He wasn't from no hood. We love him. That's Tupac. No, don't give me there's no disrespect to the big. That's Tupac. You know what I'm saying? I had 100 Tupac pictures on my wall growing up. You hear what I'm saying? Like 100, literally 100 of them.
Wow.
You feel me? He was who you wanted to be. But I've always followed those type of. If I'm gonna follow anybody, I'm gonna follow those type of people. I've always been a fan of street dudes that were very knowledgeable. Though that was dope to me. How you can move in both worlds.
Yeah.
So the thing about Nipsey is he was from LA, like born and raised in the hood. He was actually from that hood though. You feel what I'm saying? So his plight when it came to understanding what he was going through was felt through all of us though. Pac was a megastar. Nipsey was the homie. Does that make sense? Like him.
Like Nipsey
right
was like reachable.
You
can identify with Nipsey. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely, when I was in the halfway house and I was working and I was trying to make a transition from being a street dude to where I am today, Crenshaw was the album that got me there.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily Bullets Ain't Got No Names, but that was still a good one. But Crenshaw got me there, listening to just Don't Take Days Off, I really felt like this man didn't care what people thought about him. He made music from the heart. And we're in a generation right now where the most stupid stuff you can do gets you famous.
Absolutely.
And Nipsey Hussle wasn't about that. He wasn't about smut. Like he said, there was no smut on his name. He wasn't about, trying to, and I swear, I really hope, Will, because, inevitably, Will, he young, he 20. I really hope y'all, as a generation, doesn't, just look at what this man's life was. Don't think that it's cool to do this Tekashi stuff and try to do what the most scandalous stuff you can do to get attention. Right. It's not gonna do nothing. It's you seeing these young rappers, they getting locked up, and then you got this man who, like you said, he created a blueprint, and I really my heart goes out to the young guys out there. Just really take heed and take notes, man.
Yeah, and just be aware.
Be the next Nipsey, be the next Tupac. Like, not necessarily the demise part, because that we don't want to see nobody gone before their time.
There was never a demise. Don't use that word though.
Okay.
But I mean
and no disrespect.
No, I know what you're saying, but don't use that word because we still Pac is still Tupac to this day. He's a legend. Nipsey is a legend now.
Right.
So forever,
they
if nothing else,
if
nothing else, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like you died on top. Like you did, like you know what I'm saying. You didn't die trying to at the bottom of you died on top. Like you passed away with a message, at least with the message. Like a lot of people, there's people that pass away and they pass away.
That's it, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how they're remembered.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And then there's people that never die, man, because you can't because your message is now a part of the people though. Your message is who we believe in you because you came from where we came from and you survived what we all had to survive, though.
Right. So I got a couple questions that are going to challenge the theory here.
Okay.
So, do you feel like being in the neighborhood is not necessarily the best recipe for getting out? Because we stress to, you know what I'm saying, come back to the hood, you know, give back, put money back in the hood, you know, but then you go back to the hood and now you're exposed to the hood. Exactly. Now you're exposed to hood politics that you wouldn't have been necessarily exposed to in Calabasas and Beverly Hills if your store was in one of them rich neighborhoods. You're exposed now. Nipsey Hussle can't escape any little hood thing that happens. Right. And so then, as a man of pride, a man of valor, he stood up to all those challenges, right?
Yeah.
And he also had solutions for those things. Like he created peace treaties and he had things. However, nonetheless, he still had to be exposed. That exposure, right?
Yeah.
And not necessarily having like that perfect. I got security with me at all times, kind of a thing. Nobody has security with them at all times.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's your take on that? Do you feel like the exposure to the neighborhood can kind of be risky, and so it might be a good reason to kind of not
Hell yeah.
go back to the hood?
I mean, I don't think I could ever be bro in that stance of putting the store where he was at and then actively being there all the time. That was true. That was commendable, right? But I don't know if I would have done that, only because you know what that brings, man. And we've been taught that. You know what I'm saying? Like jealousy and envy go hand in hand, you know, especially when it comes from success and things like that. So that's all I'm saying, man. Only because we've seen it so many times. I don't like, but you know where Versace got killed at, bro?
I heard. Well, so my wife been watching it.
Okay,
you know, watched the story. What? I don't know.
Versace got killed in his mansion.
Same as Michael Jackson.
But you get where my point is, like.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, it ain't safe outside or inside. If they want you gone, they want you gone.
It's your time,
and so that kind of segues.
That's my point, man. When it's your time, bro. So I don't know if we can speed that day up if that's what it is, but who knows, man. But Nipsey, like, shit, if I'm gonna die where I'm a. Does that make sense?
Right,
they
I'm comfortable.
They're gonna come and get me, though.
Right, and I seen Meek Mill posted something like that. Like, man, he's like, I know I love my hood, and I'm probably gonna die in my hood too, but I'm coming here every day.
I'm gonna come in here, and I'm gonna still be able to do it.
Is that something?
That's tough, I don't know if I can say the same
tough.
for me.
Yeah.
I have a different relationship with my kids.
That's tough, man. You gotta. I guess what we could take from this a little bit, is that not necessarily that we can't go back to the hood, but we just can't delegate in the hood. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's tempting, but you gotta go. Like, whoever shops at this store, at that point, you're a Macy's owner. Like, you're a department store owner. Whoever want to buy a shirt gotta come buy a shirt. If you there to dictate who's coming in and out the store, then you got your homies in your ear, like, you know this dude, you know, it just kind of creates that energy of hood.
They say if you don't stand for something, you'll die for anything, right?
Absolutely.
So, but you're not a man unless you're willing to die for something.
Okay.
Right. You're either out here, or you just out here, or you standing on your principles and everything that comes with that. And that's the thing from LA. I never waver from. That's the gangbanging mentality that comes in all of us, that we don't even gangbang. It's just that you got to be willing to die for something. What are your principles? What is things that you don't do? What is things you won't catch Midas doing? You feel what I'm saying, bro? Because this is a principle, things I abide by. No matter what you got going, bro, but I know how I'm going to do it. So we all got to live our own path, though. What might have been, I couldn't have did it the same as bro. Like, you couldn't, or whatever good for you is
No, you made a good point with that Versace allegory. That's a good point because you're not safe nowhere. If it's your time to go, it's your time.
Yeah.
Now, moving forward, and I want to more so make sure that I'm getting my words straight here. Moving forward,
yes, sir.
How do we move? Because we can't. I don't feel like we can no longer say like those things that we believed in that got us to where we are prior to his demise. Those things kind of don't apply now because it's like now we have to play chess. It's like kind of like you got a chessboard, right?
Right.
And my pawn took your bishop.
Right.
Now you got to figure out how to make sure that don't happen again. So right now, the pawn just took our king. Or you know what I mean, the bishop.
Absolutely.
So what is our strategy moving forward? It can't be the same, right?
But they're not moving the same, and this is what he sparked, right? So he was already sparking that while trying to bring these different hoods together and meet and build, not just on some let's meet on some we're cool as hoods. No, let's build together. Economic empowerment. Let's make money together. Empire stuff. So we're not fighting. We're building, and they can't stop that. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So I think
the legacy lives on.
But them young dudes have to be vested in it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the thing is. That's what they saying in LA. That's the thing. It's one thing for the OGs to be all out there like we believe in it. They already put, but the young ones in LA run LA. It's always been like that.
But see, and that's where...
You know what I'm saying? If they're involved, if they heard the message, if they heard the message the way we heard the message, oh man, we good to go. You feel what I'm saying? Because they're going to be vested in trying to make it seem, make it like this is important. But they've been dumb for a while. It's on site a lot of times with a lot of the young dudes. So you gotta, it's going to take that, man. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, though.
So that's kind of another place where I'm kind of wanting to draw the line right now. Is that, and not necessarily draw the line. Maybe that's not the right term. But what I want to say is this: from the documentaries I've seen, I didn't grow up in L.A.
Right.
From the documentary, Denver has a lot of strong influence, but it's not the same. From the OGs that I've watched and researched, it sounded like, the Black Panthers, right? Like they created a community gang in a sense that protected their own, invested into their own. When they got taken out, we had guys who were watching and learning, but it kind of inflamed now violent gang banging. And that's what the OG said. Like, gang, they took our guidance, our tour guide. It's like, if you take the tour guide, where the bus gonna go? Who's gonna take over? Somebody who don't know how to drive? And so right now, my question is this cycle, is it really successful? Is it really successful to say, just believe in what he was trying to accomplish and try to emulate it when we were still learning? We were still trying to learn.
We were still learning. We were still doing it. I mean, I feel like humanity is just kind of shooting itself in the foot because you're killing leaders so young. They don't even get a chance to fully finish.
How can we build and how can we necessarily take on what Nipsey Hussle and try to, emulate the trail he blazed if we weren't quite yet there? We weren't quite. He was just starting to kind of really show him how that wheel turned all the way around. But I feel like the wheel made it halfway.
And
it's teetering now again. And it's the same thing with Pac, because that thug life movement, who knows what that would have been in 10 years. And it's just like now we can't even say what's gonna happen because he couldn't even finish the job. And this is all inquiry.
I feel better than I felt about the other two, though. I feel better now about just where we're at based off now, not how it happened, right? Like they all kind of happened the same way. But where we're at in our recovery as a whole is how we're going to move forward. So like I keep telling y'all, like Jesus was 33, right? And they talk about how great of a man he was all these years later and followed by his principles because people told you those was the principles to follow.
That's true.
So
That's
now
true.
when you go on to it and you go, because he gave it to you, not only in the music, but like I said, he left the blueprint. He left the blueprint for his homies. He left the blueprint for all of them. This is what I want to do. This is how it's supposed to be done to go boom, 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 boom. And it was not about the music, Ty. It's not about the music. It's just about buying things, about owning real estate, commercial property, about then having people work, stopping gentrification. That was one of his big things by trying to keep Crenshaw Slauson, man.
It's interesting you say that, man, because I told my wife yesterday, like, Nipsey Hussle was the millennial rapper. and hear me out. This man was gentrifying the hood in his own way. He was taking Silicon Valley principles and he was integrating them with inner city principles, right? He got that Vector 96, if I'm mistaken the name of the business that he had, where it was like an open learning space, open workspace for teaching people how to do coding. So I had to bring that up because you talked about how he was trying to stop gentrification. In a way, I felt like he was like that millennial rapper who was like, instead of me going against the grain, let me go with the times. You know, he was kind of going with the times. Okay, technology. He was all, and I just played the clip. He was all about. He was aware.
Even when Crenshaw came out, and they used to give me hell because I'm not really a big, no disrespect to Kendrick, but I wasn't really a big Kendrick, like a fan as far as I can listen to this all day. I like the songs and everything, but it didn't resonate. But I could play Nipsey all day long.
Oh, just saying that yesterday.
Felt like, and they used to be like, what? Nipsey? Like, Nipsey? And I'd be like, man, y'all don't get it, bro. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, when bro say it, like, I get it because, I don't know, it's because I'm from there. You know what I'm saying? But it means something. I mean, Kendrick too. Everybody, it just moved different to me because of how I grew up and what I